I am so grateful to have had this buddy experience this semester. I have learned so much through observing my buddy. As a little background, my buddy is a 6th grade Latino boy who lives in a middle-class, diverse area and goes to a very diverse school. He is the kind of student who's the exact opposite of me when I was his age. I was quiet, got good grades, had a group of friends, and teachers really liked me. My buddy has an IEP, has trouble paying attention in class, has only one friend, and his teachers mostly ignore or discipline him. Coming into this assignment, I have to admit that I was judgmental of my buddy. I thought that if he took the time to work harder in school, listen to his teachers, and be nicer to his peers, then he might have a better time. As I continued to observe him every week and got to know him better, my view of him completely changed. I learned that he is actually very smart and hardworking, but certain factors have turned his experience in school into what it is now. In the past, he told me that he loved going to school because he didn't get in trouble, everyone liked him, and older boys treated him like a little brother. However, now in 6th grade, he is the oldest in elementary school, and people usually shy away from him. He told me when he goes home after school, he spends a lot of time taking care of his 7-year-old brother, while his mom takes care of his newborn baby brother. After getting to know more about his personal life, I felt like I understood him much better. It made me realize how important it is for teachers to get to know each of their students personally and know what they are going through both in and out of school. Looking at school through his eyes was definitely shocking. I have never once heard a teacher give any positive feedback to my buddy, but I have heard plenty of threats of no recess. He does well on standardized tests, but he almost never does well on in-class and homework assignments. When he did not understand something, teachers rarely spent extra time trying to teach to him. My buddy's seat is in the corner of the classroom. I noticed that all of the students who are the most distracting in class sit on the edge. I also noticed that he gets little reaction from the teachers when he doesn't get a good grade on something, forgets his homework, or doesn't do his work in class. It's like they've just come to expect it. I feel like I can hardly blame my buddy for the way he acts in school. Observing my buddy and his negative school experiences has taught me a lot about teaching. As a teacher, I need to remember to get to know my students personally. I also need to make sure I'm flexible in my teaching style so all students can be engaged in my lesson. I have to be aware of how my students learn best and tailor my lesson accordingly. I should also have high expectations for all of my students and never give up on someone. My buddy often talks about how he doesn't see how what he's learning is going to help him later in life. So as a teacher, I know that I have to make sure the students understand why they're learning what they're learning. As a parent and taxpayer, I would be very disappointed in our current public school system. Especially with the No Child Left Behind Act, many teachers feel like they are forced to give up their creative lessons in order to make sure they can get through the material for the test in time. Teachers also feel like they need strict, quiet classrooms while they lecture, so the students can learn what they need to know for the tests. As someone who really cares about our education system, I would want schools to give flexibility to teachers and allow them to spend extra time to make the lessons fun and engaging. To me, this is a much better use of the child's time because they often remember more. There was one lesson in my practicum that really engaged the students, and my buddy actually paid attention and learned a lot during that lesson. The curriculum also needs to appreciate diversity and different cultures. My buddy is Latino and speaks Spanish at home. As I observed his class, not once did they talk about his culture or acknowledge his identity. I feel like it is really important in schools to make the curriculum relevant to all students. Overall, the picture I had in my mind of the kind of student my buddy was has completely changed over the course of my observations. Now, instead of blaming the student, I believe the school system and teachers can change quite a bit. The current mainstream system does not really allow these types of students to succeed in school. Although most teachers care a lot about their students, few know or can relate to what their students are going through. With this buddy experience, I have gained the invaluable knowledge of what it's like to look through the eyes of a student who has had a completely different experience in school than I had when I was growing up.